Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Scribbles, and in today's video we are going to be talking about launching a successful Kickstarter. I am the artist and illustrator behind Eclectic Scribbles, and I am launching my 6th Kickstarter on March 1st, the day that you are viewing this video, and it's going to run for 2 weeks from March 1st to March 14th. I thought it was the perfect time to do a video on how I set up, launch, run successful Kickstarters. So if you are new here, you won't know that I have run 5 successful Kickstarters in the past. So this is my 6th one, and I have had a range from single enamel pin Kickstarters to pin series Kickstarters, all the way from 1 pin to 14 or 15 pins in one collection. So I have a wide range of knowledge on how to set up and run a Kickstarter. I'm going to pass on to you all that I have learned in the past several years of running these Kickstarters and give you some tips and tricks and things that I have picked up along the way to help you launch your successful Kickstarter. So tip number 1, and the thing that I get asked the most often, is do I have to have a large audience to start? And I'm going to tell you, while it does help, I mean, a large audience can never hurt. It is not necessary to have a huge following to be successful. A small group of people who want to see you succeed and want the product that you're offering is all you need to make a successful Kickstarter happen. That being said, there is of course a greater chance of it being successful with a larger audience, but I'm not going to encourage you to wait until you have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of viewers to start your Kickstarter. Because when it comes down to it, no matter how big or small your audience is, the promotion of your Kickstarter is going to come down to you. You are going to have to be the one that gets the word out to the masses that your Kickstarter is happening. You're going to want to build up the hype for your campaign way before you ever hit the launch button, and you're going to want to promote it throughout the entire Kickstarter itself. So you're going to be promoting this from start to finish and even beforehand. So the number of eyes that you get on your Kickstarter is going to be completely up to you. But there are ways to increase your chances, and we'll go over that in some of the other tips. Tip number 2 is know your costs. It is incredibly important to know your costs across your entire campaign. You need to know how much it costs to produce your product, how much it costs to pack and ship your product, how much Kickstarter is going to take at the end of your campaign, and any other charges that you are going to incur while trying to get your end product to those backers. You also need to figure in labor costs. I know that this may be sort of a taboo subject, but you're putting your time and your effort into creating this, and your labor is important. So make sure that you include in your campaign price or in your campaign goal an amount suitable for the amount of time you have put into this project. You need to have all of these numbers figured out way before you hit the launch button. This is one of the first steps that you're going to have to fill out when you're launching the Kickstarter campaign. And Kickstarter does give you an actual spreadsheet with a pie chart in it and everything, so that you can make sure that you know how much you need to set your goal for. So it includes things like labor, things like the cost of production and shipping, the fees that are associated with running the Kickstarter itself. They're going to take 10% off the top, so you need to know that. And it will give you a total down at the bottom as to what you should be setting your goal at. Know that costs are going to fluctuate during your campaign, and you want to make sure that you are covered and not coming out of pocket at the end of your campaign to fulfill all of your pledges. So if you know all your numbers, you're ready to go, you've plugged it all into the Kickstarter spreadsheet, and you have your goal, then you can proceed to the next step. But do not sell yourself short on this goal. I have seen far too many times where people underestimate how much things are going to cost, and it has bit them in the butt every single time. Tip number 3 is to make sure that your images and your graphics catch the attention of your potential backers. Having clean and clear graphics is crucial to running a successful campaign. So this is going to show your audience exactly what they're going to be getting when they pledge to back your campaign, and it is also going to be what catches the eye of people who are just searching in that genre on Kickstarter. If your images are overcluttered, overcomplicated, and completely unclear, it is going to deter backers from wanting to support your project because they don't know what to expect in the end, or it wasn't clear enough what they would be getting as a reward. While I may not typically run your aesthetic sort of studio vlog or anything like that, where I have everything is beautiful and in its place at all times, I will always 100% say you need to have this aesthetic to your campaign. Everything needs to flow together nicely. You need all of the graphics to seamlessly go together so that everyone is 100% clear on every step of the process. So make sure, above all else, you have a very clean, crisp, and clear design for your Kickstarter campaign. Tip number 4 is offer incentives. Offering incentives to your backers is an important part of running a successful campaign. This will make backers feel like they are getting more bang for their buck and possibly enticing them to share your campaign with other people or on their social media. Examples of incentives that I have used in the past are matching stickers and prints when they hit a certain goal or when they back a certain part of your project. Offering a discounted price during the Kickstarter only, where the normal price in your shop later on will be higher, is a good example of an incentive. I also include landmark goals, so I offer incentives once we hit things like 100 backers or 200 backers, and we throw those little extras in at different landmarks so that it encourages people to hit those marks to get those incentives. You can offer any of those exclusive perks that will be available to your backers and not available any other time, like a custom backing card or a custom pin option, pin backing option, or any other kind of option that is exclusive to the Kickstarter and will not be available when people are buying it in your shop. These are all great ways to get people to pledge during the Kickstarter rather than waiting until it reaches your shop later on. Tip number 5 is to promote, and avoid the scams at all costs. Have your images ready for your marketing campaign before you hit the launch button. So you need to be marketing your campaign before you ever launch. You need to be building up anticipation before you ever hit the launch button. And once you hit the launch button, you cannot quit. So if you have a 2-week campaign, you need to have 2 weeks worth of social media images and or videos to promote the crap out of your Kickstarter. You are going to be the one who gets the eyes onto your Kickstarter, and you need to make sure that you are ready for that before you hit go. Once you do hit that launch button, you're going to be flooded with emails of people and companies trying to offer you backers and numbers and all kinds of things at a fee. Do not fall for these. These are almost 100% a scam, and you're going to be out of pocket and disappointed if you fall for any of these things. So I don't read them. I just delete them as soon as they come in. And without a doubt, on every single Kickstarter that has ever been started ever, there is a team of people out here ready to go from the jump to send you these spam emails. Don't pay any attention to them. The only real emails that you need to be worried about are people asking questions on your Kickstarter and asking questions in private messages about your Kickstarter. The rest of them, just leave them be. If you put in the work yourself, you are going to see a result from that work. Tip number 6 is appropriate time frames. You do not need to run a full 30-day Kickstarter for an enamel pen set. I don't run 30-day Kickstarters. I did. The first one that I ever ran was 30 days, and let me tell you, it was a mistake. It was an absolute mistake. I run 2-week Kickstarters now, no matter what size my project is, and I will tell you why. The first week and a half of any Kickstarter is going to be the busiest time of the Kickstarter. All of the hype is there at the beginning. People are sharing, people are ready to pledge, everything is ready to go in that first week and a half. Then you're going to get a lull if you try to run a 30-day Kickstarter, and those last couple of weeks are really going to drag by, which gives people the opportunity to back out because it has taken so long and they just want this product that they have backed and they're ready for it to be over. The last 24 or 48 hours of a Kickstarter also has a lot of hype around it because it's ending. It's finally over. Everybody's trying to get in last minute. So if you take out all of the lull in the middle, you are left with a 2-week Kickstarter. You've got your first week and a half, a day or so lull, and then your last 48 hours. This makes sure that your backers don't get bored or change their mind. It gets everything nice and neat in there. So let's talk about the time frame on a 2-week Kickstarter. You've got the first 2 weeks that you are running the Kickstarter from start to finish. You have got 2 weeks for Kickstarter to send you the funds from your Kickstarter if it's successful. So you're already at 1 month. Depending upon what you're having produced, you can go 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks for production and shipping the thing to you. Depending on the size of your Kickstarter, you then have a week or 2 to go in and prep, package, and ship everything that has been pledged and get it out to the customer, at which point it takes another week or 2, depending upon where you're shipping from and where you're shipping to get that product to the backers. So you're talking about 3.5 months right off the jump with no problems, no little hiccups here or there. You have got 3.5 months worth of work that is going into this one Kickstarter, and that would be 4 months if you tried to run a 30-day Kickstarter. I just don't recommend it. I think that it is better to run something quick and simple and exciting than to drag it out for a longer period of time. That's not to say that you can't be successful with a longer project, and especially if you're not doing something simple like enamel pins or washi tapes or sticky notes or something small. If you're doing a long drawn out project, then this probably doesn't apply to you, but the people in my space and the people who are doing this kind of Kickstarter, it definitely does. I have run a successful 30-day Kickstarter, and I have run several successful 2-week Kickstarters. So I would preach to go for the 2 weeks. So my 7th tip is to have stretch goals. Make sure that once you hit your goal, the excitement isn't over. I have stretch goals set up on all of my campaigns. So in the beginning, the initial goal is set for one group of pins to initially back. Once that goal is hit, everything else is a stretch goal. So the way that I set up my stretch goals is I have a new pin unlock every $250 to $500. Mostly $250, it will unlock a new pin. And then in this particular one that I have set up now, there is a little 5-pin mini set that is going to have a $500 stretch goal attached to it, but everything else is at $250. I find that this is a good cost to get those items produced. It adds a little bit for shipping, and everything is under control without me losing any money by unlocking these goals. It also gives your audience something to hit. If they want a pin that's 3 stretch goals down the line, they're encouraged once again to share, once again to back at possibly a larger reward tier, and it just keeps the excitement going as the new things get unlocked. I do not suggest that you set up a goal with 10 pins and have it need to be funded entirely for all 10 pins. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it is a lot harder to get to this goal worth of 10 pins than it was to just fund the first one and then unlock new ones as you go. You can fail at funding 10 pins, or you can succeed in funding 1 pin and then possibly 2 to 6, 8 more in the process of hitting stretch goals. So you know that one is fulfilled, and then surprise, all of these other ones are unlocking as well, instead of failing at 10 and having no pin designs come out. So that being said, there are a couple of different ways that I have seen people do stretch goals, and I'm going to tell you how I do mine. So there are 2 things. You can lay out all your stretch goals completely from start to finish as to what they will be, and if you maybe reach all of those stretch goals, you can add some on at the end that will be determined at a later date. That's for a highly successful Kickstarter. Or you can tease the things that are going to be unlocked with maybe a silhouette, shape of the thing that's going to be unlocked at each one of the stretch goals. I think both of these are really good options. I use sort of a hybrid between the two. I do lay out all of my initial stretch goals clean and clear on my Kickstarter, which you can see by clicking the link below. I then use the hint of a new item at the end. So I say once all of the stretch goals are hit, we'll start unlocking new stretch goals. That's one way I sort of hint to more items to come. And the other one is once we hit 100 backers, if you back so many pins or more, then you will get a free extra pin in your package. That has not been revealed. The design for that one has not been revealed yet, so it gives a little bit of a tease to what that item is going to be. So I recommend doing sort of a hybrid of both, but either one can be completely successful on its own. Tip number 8. Tip number 8 is to have something for everyone. If you are running an enamel pin Kickstarter like I am, some people may not be able to afford an enamel pin. Some people may not like enamel pins, but still like you, want to back you, and want to see you succeed. There is always the option for the backers to pledge without a reward, but I recommend having something for everyone. So on lower price point tiers, I have offered things like get the sticker for $3, or get a sticker pack or a sticker sheet for $6, get the pin for $12, you know, so there's a price point for everyone. You can add things like prints on there, and anytime anybody pledges for one of the pin tiers, they have the option to add on those lower tier items as well. If they want the sticker, they can add that on. If they want the mini pin set, they can add that on. If they want the sticker set or sticker pack, sticker sheet, you know, they can add those on to their pledge. So make sure that you have something for everybody, because while everybody might not like the initial pin, some people will like a sticker. Who doesn't like a sticker? So they'll be able to pledge and get a reward if you offer those different things for them to choose from. Tip number 9 is to be as organized as humanly possible. So at the end of your campaign, you are going to want to set up and send out your backer surveys as soon as possible. You need to know what everyone wants. You need to make sure that everyone has updated their address in the Kickstarter system. You need to make sure that you know your counts of what you need to order and put into production. Once your backer surveys come back, that is going to give you that information. And this is a great thing to be doing in that 2-week time frame between the end of your campaign and the time that Kickstarter sends you your funds. Get all of this information back and be ready to go with your manufacturer once those funds hit your account so that you can pay the manufacturer. Kickstarter is great, and they will let you download a spreadsheet of all of this information, and that is what you need to use. Make sure that you use the spreadsheets and you stay as organized as possible through the entire process, including prepping, packing, and shipping all of the items out to the backers so that you have everything needed, and you don't have to go back and forth as to who got what and who wanted this and who wanted that. Just make sure that you stay organized. Tip number 10 is to be prepared for it to not go the way that you planned. There are several things that can factor into a campaign not being successful. And those things are like everybody's budgets are tight after a worldwide pandemic and they just can't afford it right now. This particular product didn't necessarily speak to the masses, and it just might have not generated enough interest. None of this is a reflection on you. It happens. It just is. Sometimes things don't work out, and the only thing that you can do at that point is pick yourself up and move on to your next project. Maybe that next project is a big hit with everybody. An unsuccessful Kickstarter is not a reflection on you. It is not a reflection of your business. It just is. Use it as a learning experience. Use it and reflect on it as to what could have gone better, what you could have done more, and then throw all of that into your next project and just learn from the situation. So I'm going to leave you with one bonus tip, and that is 100% do your research. I promote research in every aspect of business. every single one. And even in your personal life, if you're looking to do something, do your research. Kickstarter is a huge platform, and at any given time there are hundreds probably of people running Kickstarters in your field that are similar to yours. Look at the ones that have far exceeded their initial goal. Look at the ones that are failing to hit their goals. See what people are responding to. See how things are set up. See what kind of dynamic in these posts are making the different Kickstarters successful versus what the ones that aren't successful or haven't hit their goals yet are doing. Take all of that information from all of the different ones that you look at, piece it all together into what you are going to create. Say, hey, this one is really nice. It's got a nice flow to it. Everything has a cohesive design. Everything sort of flows from start to finish. It's very clear. It's very easy to read. This is what is making this one successful. This one has dark images. It's not quite as clear how it's going to run. It may be a little disorganized and choppy in the wording of the project, and so maybe that's why this one isn't being funded as much. Take all of that information, every little bit of it, soak it up like a sponge, and apply that to your Kickstarter. Don't copy necessarily anybody's stuff, but do apply those things in your own way to your Kickstarter, and hopefully that will give you a little bit more information to go on, especially if this is the first Kickstarter that you have ever launched. All right, so that is all of the tips and tricks that I have in running a successful Kickstarter. Again, I am running a Kickstarter from March 1st to March 15th to unlock the Spring Witch collection, which is right here. All of the information for it is going to be down in the little doobly-doo below, and you can check it out over on Kickstarter during that time. Lots of goals to hit and lots of incentives if we do successfully fund this project. I want to thank you as always for watching, and if you have any questions that I haven't answered about running a Kickstarter, drop them in the comments below. I answer each and every question that I get, and I am happy to help you in any way that I can. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Smash that little thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ding the little bell for me, and that will allow you to be informed each and every time I upload new content. I upload studio vlogs every Friday, and I am uploading some random how-to videos here and there, just like this one. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love your faces. Okay, thank you. Bye.